one thing that I would like to share with all of you that was not mentioned in the introduction, I was fortunate enough to work as a director principal of a school that was following a Montessorian approach from till lower secondary. And I had the opportunity to amalgamate Cambridge with Montessori. So let's understand one thing, parents, any education system, its purpose is not to prepare students for school. Its purpose is to prepare students for the lifetime. The students, the children who are born in this generation, Gen Z, Alpha generation, whatever we call them, they are on their own are born with high metacognitive skills. It's us as educators and parents, we have to match up to them. We have to provide them an environment that is conducive to their learning, to their growth. So when we talk about Cambridge, it was a very interesting journey. 20 years ago, I had an opportunity to work in an international curriculum school, and most of the teachers at that time, who were my colleagues working with the national board, they were struggling a lot to adapt to the curriculum. And I think being a special educator and psychologist by profession, that gave me an added advantage, because I always believed and still believe in child-centric learning. How a child can learn at its own pace. How a child, if he's not understanding the way a teacher is teaching, how can we move to different approaches, different pedagogies to ensure that he's learning. And that's where in 2003 my journey with Cambridge started. And I have always believed, belong to a family of academicians, so always believed that to be a lifelong learner. And that's how the journey after 30 years of being into the education fraternity still continues, and I still want to update myself always that what's happening around the world in the field of education. So when Mr. Sanjeev Sinha requested me through a common friend to conduct this session, and he told me that, it is a complete Montessori school, will you be able to conduct? And I said, okay, I can. And at that time also I did not, just 2 days ago I shared with him that don't worry, because I have worked and we have worked in a way where these both approaches. So today I would like you to, I prepared some presentation, but in the midst of the presentation also, if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer that. So whenever there is a school around the globe, it is a connect between a student, parent and a teacher. And that connect, school is the center of the thing where we all need to work as partners to ensure that our students are getting best educational practices. There is Google, there is overload of information, and how much we try, our students are much aligned to the systems, to computer systems, to desktop, to their smartphones. So a teacher and a school is there to guide them and to filter that information, that what is right and what is wrong for them. Next. When we talk about Cambridge, it is one of the very old education system, and it works on the students and educators also, way of thinking, ways of working, tools for working, and skills for living in the world. So here it is considered like Montessori that the teachers are not the teachers, they are the facilitators. They are there to guide the students to reach to their goal in their own manner, to take the responsibility of their own learning. And the Cambridge education system has evolved completely. My all due respects to the national board, because I think most of us, we all are, and when I was young, we were also CBSE students, but we still remember, and there are certain texts, there are certain chapters that was there when I was in grade 4 or grade 5, I think 40 years ago now, and the same chapters are still there. Fortunately, now they are coming up. They are talking about a lot of changes, and I was fortunate enough to be with the secretary of CBSE a couple of months ago, and when we were talking about the technology, we were talking about the new pedagogy, about NEP, NCF, and he shared a very candid fact. He said that, ma'am, problem is not these things. Problem is accessibility to the education for the students who are in the rural areas. So that is the major problem, and yes, we are trying to balance it out. We are trying to have a balanced approach, a mid path, where we are able to cater to both the extremes of the spectrum. Next, please. So when we talk about 21st century skills, timeless seas, I would say. So, of course, we talk about critical thinking, we talk about collaboration, communication, fixed versus growth mindset. So now that is obsolete. We are talking about exponential mindset, metacognition. I spoke to you about high order thinking skills, learning to learn, and social responsibilities. And how much I know about Montessorian approach, these words or these pedagogy, Dr. Maria Montessori worked very closely during that time. Her way of teaching, or her way of Montessorian approach during those days, I would still consider it was very, very progressive. Next. Before I move on to this, Cambridge pedagogy with the Bloom's taxonomy and everything, it is based on two basic approaches, two basic principles. One is called the active learning. Second is the Vygotsky's way of zone of proximal development. And in my entire, so it is just sharing of the information. In my journey, I have seen Montessorian approach and Cambridge approach has a lot of similarities when it comes to the way of dealing with the curriculum. When we talk about active learning, of course, both the systems want the students to be independent, want the students to take the responsibility of their actions, responsibility of their own learning at their own pace, ensuring that students have the holistic development, well-rounded, independent, motivated learners. So it is always said that, you can take the horse to the well, but you cannot make him drink it. But at the same time, as educators, we can ignite that thirst in the students that they are ready to drink that water. Ultimately, whatever we want for our students is that they are at par with what is happening around the world, yet rooted with the Indian culture also. So both pedagogies emphasize on engagement, motivation, allowing children to choose their activities and explore their interests. So interestingly, I was with RD group of schools where I was looking at their Montessori section in, I think, 2015 or 16 I joined, then I was there for 3 years. And the classrooms today, I went back to the memory lane, and classrooms today reminded me of the RD Montessori classrooms where the students were learning at their own paces. And you would not know, parents, when we are dealing with any topic in Cambridge, So much flexibility and freedom is given to the teachers. So when we talk about my Rockwood School classrooms, so of course we have taken manipulatives from Montessori also, and they work at their own pace. Of course, we don't have this thing that a learning hour is there like Montessori. Someone is wanting to do numeracy, someone is wanting to do language, or someone is wanting to study about world around us. That flexibility is not there, but we ensure in the classroom there is lot of cross-curricular approaches being done in the classroom, and there are a lot of group discussions, there is a lot of collaborative work, there is a lot of group work that students do in the classroom, and it is just not confined till grade 5, it is confined till lower secondary 1, that is grade 8. So IGCSE is a nomenclature for grade 9 and 10, and for 11 and 12 we call it A levels. So both focus on changing the learning experience to the individuals, completely child-centric learning. Of course, there are certain learning outcomes, learning intentions, which we want students to achieve at the particular age level, but again, there is no stress given to the students, there is no rush, it is not content-centric, it is not chalk and talk method where teacher comes to the class. And the classroom arrangements, here most of the students sit on the floor on the chalky, so we don't have that arrangement. But the classroom arrangement is a C-section where, students are working, the teacher is roaming with the students, and she is understanding. Lot of personalized learning is there, I have shared already. And Montessori classroom also gives a lot of freedom to students to select their activities and work at their own pace. And while active learning encourages them to participate according to their comfort level. So when I speak about active learning, so this was a concept given by Kolb in early 1931 or something, where it is called Kolb's cycle of active learning. It is a complete cycle wherein the students are given an experience, the experience, the stimulation is created and they experience. Then they go into they understand what is happening. Then there is abstract conceptualization, and it moves to reflective observation. So it is a complete cycle where they learn a concept, they understand it, they apply it, and they apply it into a new situation. Next. I remember an incident wherein my student at RD had done something wrong, and we had called him some breaking of the rule and everything. So we had called him to discuss, and as Montessori students are, so he took the responsibility of the action and he decided what should be his corrective measure for himself. So that is also a Cambridge pedagogy. Cambridge attributes, we'll come to that later. And it encourages students to think independently, creatively, and promoting critical thinking and problem solving skills. So when we talk about students with high order thinking skills or high metacognitive skills, they are actually they are given the situations that they are able to resolve the conflicts around them. They must know, and for them conflict resolution can just be that which game to play today. Whether should I go for soccer? My friend is taking soccer, other friend is taking cricket. So both the friends are pesterizing me to choose one. So for them, a very minute thing that we think is a very minuscule thing, for them it is a big thing. So training them to resolve their conflicts and coming to a decision on their own. Then we talk about responsibility for their own learning, making them independent learners with self-directed learning. And they adapt to, both the pedagogies adapt to the students' progress, their learning styles, and give the flexibility to advance at their own pace. Both approaches promote lifelong learning, by the development of skills and love for learning that extends beyond formal education. So as when I started, I said that whatever education is, it is for life. It is not for just for the school or getting admission anywhere or reaching. So I was talking to one of my students, and she's married now. She's grown up. When she was very young, and I used to ask her, "What do you want to be?" And she always used to say, her classmates used to say that I want to be doctor, engineer. So this little girl always said, "Ma'am, I want to be happy. I want to be happy in all the situations." And when she got married in Udaipur, and she met me a few days ago, and I was asking her, "Isha, do you remember what did you used to say that what?" She said, "Yes, ma'am. Now also I want to be happy." If we have students like this who think, so I always see, when you are happy and you are on a journey of any career path, so whatever other things, they are the byproducts. So instilling that, making our students away from the competition of the world, comparing them with others, that this child has done that, you have not done that. So if we are instilling that content and happiness in the students, I think we have done our job pretty well. And I think I will spend some time with the educators also today. But having said that, when we are in the field of education, I always say, I always wanted to be a teacher. No matter what, and I'm very happy, and I still say that, the day I lose my interest in teaching, it's been 30 years, and I don't think so I will lose it ever, but day I lose it, I will leave everything. So we have to be passionately driven in any career, and guiding the students to follow their passion, channelizing it in the right manner. That is a role of a school and teachers and parents jointly. Next, Vygotsky was a Russian educational psychologist. He used to say, a child's journey of learning anything is from his social environment and from learning from known to unknown. So there was a very interesting example, interesting video that was shown, wherein, a teacher, so usually what happens, I'm sure it doesn't happen here because it is a Montessori school, when we are giving a task to a child as small as counting the beads, if a child has counted 10 beads and has said it's 9, we as educators, we as parents, we jump to the conclusion, and we tell him that no, counted right, it is not 9, it is 10. So, but what happens with Vygotsky's zone of proximal development? A teacher is a facilitator. So till the child reaches to the right answer, she is just giving him the clues. Okay, put the fingers, count again, let's see, the counting, let's understand. So till the time child reaches to the correct solution, she will be guiding the student. She will be facilitating the students, not giving him the answer directly. So that's very, very close to Montessori, I would say. So social interaction, they both highlight the role of social interaction and collaboration in learning. Montessori classrooms encourage peer-to-peer learning and collaboration, where students learn from each other as well as from adults. Scaffolding is very important. So both the approaches involves providing support and guidance to the child, as I gave you the example. And in Montessori classroom, they also offer support and guidance, but it is done in a way keeping the child's anatomy and autonomy and independence in mind. Next, coming to Cambridge, I will now take you through the few important factors, few important principles of Cambridge. So Cambridge works on the philosophy of making students are called learners and teachers. Teachers are also learners here. So both are on the journey of making each other, I would say, making each other confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged. So what happens is that every classroom, every learning intention, every lesson plan, every unit plan, or scheme of works, whatever they make, the heart is this: we have to ensure that how a student is reflecting. So not only a student is reflecting, a teacher is also reflecting after every lesson. So reflection is very, very important. Then they maintain their reflective journals, wherein they talk about what did they like about the lesson, what did they not like about the lesson, how could they have learned more. And when we talk about metacognition is knowing about oneself, how I can learn. Every individual knows what are the strengths, what are the weakness when it comes to the learning aspect. When we are talking about metacognition, it is all about learning, how well I can learn. What was the circumstance, what was my muddiest point that I could not learn, I could have done in a better manner. So what happens that whenever any bright student, of course, when they come to age group, they have to write exams, IGCSE, A-level, CBSE, board examination, grade 10. So when we are expecting them to perform in a certain manner, seeing their abilities, seeing their aptitude, and they have not done it. So my question to them is, did you give your 100%? Did you put in your right kind of efforts? So of course they do introspect, they do reflect. So when we are talking about Cambridge pedagogy, we always talk about that how well we can make the students responsible for their own actions, how they can be innovative in their approaches, how we can ensure they're always engaged in the classroom, engaged in the learning, and how well they are confident. So when you see the Montessori classroom, it is revolved around these 5 factors, these 5 attributes. Next, there is a research, a very interesting research, and it says that when we are just focusing on the acquisition of knowledge, and it is just when we are telling them, so in 3 weeks the retention is 70%, but in 3 months it reduces to 10%. When we tell them and show them certain things, so the percentage is 72%, and after 3 months 32%. But if a child has experienced it by experience with, in addition to told and show, it is a staggering of 85% and 65% after 3 months also. So that's what a Cambridge classroom also focuses on and looks like. Next, this was a very interesting book I read, and Study Sutra, and Mr. Khurshid Batliwala is one of the very renowned art of living educationists and coaches also. So he mentioned that we remember 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 60% of what we see and hear, again 80% of what we experience, but a staggering 90% of what we teach to someone else. So that emphasizes the major significance of peer-to-peer learning, which is again a very active part of Cambridge as well as Montessorian approach. Next. So when you see a Cambridge classroom, you will have the students who are engaged and actively involved in the learning, studying in positive and inclusive environment. They are aware and in control of their emotional self, having age-appropriate knowledge about global issues, organic in their approach, and learning at their own pace. Next. So that I was telling you about the Kolb cycle of active learning: concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. So this is the complete cycle where focus is on learning. Active learning never means that we are involving our student in different activities, we are taking them out. No. If a child is learning from the surroundings, experiencing himself, that is active learning. Next. There are three words we talk about. So we talk about a lot about pedagogy. That's very, very common. We say pedagogical approach, but actually pedagogy means child as a learner. And that's little content centric. When we talk about andragogy, so andragogy is a word that is an adult centric learning. Again, it is said that you are treating students as adults, giving them the freedom to work at their own pace. So that's andragogy. And the latest addition is hetagogy, which is spoken a lot in both the approaches, self-directed learning. Student is learning, and it is a journey from pedagogy to andragogy to hetagogy. And they say that students choose how to learn, they choose what they want to learn, and they do it at their own pace. Next. So as I'm told by Mr. Sinha, so the students, they are planning to have Cambridge pedagogy from grade 6 onwards, like 6, 7 and 8. So 6 will be the part of the Montessorian pedagogy completely, and 7 and 8 lower secondary 1, followed by IGCSE. So IGCSE is equivalent to grade 9 and 10, and they have the I certification when we talk about. So there are close to 70 subjects offered by Cambridge. It depends on the schools what subjects they want to take. And then there is a I certification which says that there are 5 different groups. So from those 5 different groups, students have to choose 7 or more subjects. So those groups are languages, that is English as a first language. Then they have Hindi, French. At IGCSE level, there Hindi, French, German, Sanskrit, like that languages are there. Then you have mathematics, then you have sciences, then you have humanities. From these 5 groups, the students have to take 7 or more to be eligible to have I certification. When we talk about I certification, so I certification is an added advantage if parents want to choose. That helps them at their 11th, 12th, A-levels level, or at the university level when they are applying for the colleges either in India or abroad, wherever students want to. And I certifications comes with distinction, merit and pass. So that's the merit. So these are languages, humanities and social sciences, sciences, mathematics, creative, technical and vocational. So that was about Cambridge, and I think the school is planning to have A-levels, I think IB diploma, IB DP after grade 9 and 10. But I think that's a journey. I'm told so. The students are here till grade 7 or grade 8. Grade 7 right now. Grade 7, yeah.